There are so many people that buy an Apple Watch thinking that the Apple Watch is like an iPhone. And then they're like, what the heck? This is not useful. Well, I'm here to help you how to make the Apple Watch useful. If you love Apple, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. What is going on, guys? Apple World here, and welcome to the first ever episode on how to make useful. In the first episode, we're gonna take a look on how to make the Apple Watch useful. See, the Apple Watch is a device that is so interesting. My dog is gonna walk in here. Hold on. She's probably gonna walk in a lot of times. Apple, you wanna say hi to the fam? We're here to tell them how to make the Apple Watch useful. Do you have an Apple Watch, Apple? Goodbye. Peace. So as I was saying, the Apple Watch is such an interesting device because people think it's like an iPhone and then they're like, what the heck, this is not useful. And to be honest, sometimes there are days, even for me, that I don't even pick up my Apple Watch once. I don't actually open it. I don't actually go into the apps. Now, that's okay. The Apple Watch is not meant to replace your iPhone. The Apple Watch, it's not meant like this, you're like this all the time. No, the Apple Watch is meant for three things. One, for health and fitness. So if you want to go running, you can actually track it. Second of all, it's a beautiful watch. It's a beautiful watch. You've got a bunch of watch faces, which we're going to talk about it in just a second. And third of all, notifications. Sometimes you feel like you're not really using Apple, you're making a lot of noise. And that's okay, and that shows you how the Apple Watch is so amazing. Well, Nikias, what do you mean? I don't use my Apple Watch and I just spent $500 and I'm not using it, and you're telling me why that's amazing? Yes, you're actually using it so much. Basically, because of two reasons. One, notifications. You're constantly checking for notifications on your Apple Watch. It's alerting you because your mom is calling you, because your girlfriend's texting you, etc., etc., etc. That's amazing. The Apple Watch, I love it so much because of notifications. Second of all, it's so amazing because of the actual watch faces. We have so much information on our watch faces. So sometimes when you feel like you're not really using your Apple Watch, you actually are. Every time you're actually looking at your watch face, me, for example, I've got the weather, I've got my calendar, I've got my music, I've got my activity rings, I've got my battery level, I've got my phone. So every time that I look, I've got all the information that I need. That's why I'm not, first of all, I'm not checking on my Apple Watch, and second of all, I'm not actually picking up my phone because most of the time, I've simply got all the information over here. But anyways, apart from that, there are so many things that you can actually take into consideration to make your Apple Watch useful, and that's what we're basically going to talk about in this video. Let's go ahead and start off the video with Siri. Siri is probably one of the most underrated features on the Apple Watch. Having Siri, having an assistant on your wrist is so amazing. Whether you want to check your soccer scores from your favorite soccer game without actually having to go inside of your iPhone, by simply saying, Siri, when is the next Barcelona game? Siri will let me know. You can ask Siri for the weather. You can ask Siri, check this out. Turn off the fish tank.
You got it. Coming right up.
Just like that. You want to see that again? Siri, turn on the fish tank.
You got it. Coming right up.
Boom. And also check this out. Siri, turn on fish bubbles.
Coming right up.
Just like that. Turn off fish bubbles.
Understood.
So this is my next point. HomeKit. HomeKit and Siri, but HomeKit. Make sure to purchase some HomeKit devices. There are so many different devices, and I've made a bunch of different HomeKit videos, so if you guys are interested in those, I'll link them down below. So maybe you want to get a smart plug like this. You can control that light that is on the top, so you can simply plug that in, and you can simply tell Siri to turn that light that you have on top of your house. Lights, plugs, maybe some blinds for your house. Possibilities are endless, and it is so useful to have HomeKit on your Apple Watch. I'm literally turning off my lights. Look at this. Turn off the flash.
I've sent the request.
There you go. So it's as easy as that. So HomeKit, I totally recommend you guys to get HomeKit devices. So watch faces. There are so many different ways that you can make your watch faces useful for your personal life. Let's say you're an executive, for example. You can have your calendar, your business meetings. You can also have, I don't know, timers, different time zones like this. You can call your business partner who is in Brazil. So you can have the Brazil time zone on the top left, and then on the top right, you can have your local time. And then if you're a runner, you can have your workouts, your activity rings, your heart rate. So there are so many different ways to make your watch faces useful for you. Don't forget that you can actually change the colors for every single watch faces. This is actually something that I constantly forget, and sometimes I just stick on with my favorite watch face, which is this one right here. I love the infograph watch face because there are so many different information. So there's a bunch of different watch faces on the Apple Watch. Some are more classy but less useful. Some of them are more useful. So depending on which occasion you do, for example, the infograph watch face is one of my favorite because there's so much information all in one watch face. So I love that. Let's say you want to go a little bit more classy or a little bit more awesome, you can go with the fire watch face. So depending on what your occasion is, whether you're working, whether you're gonna work out, whether you're on the weekend, swipe up your watch faces, change them. They're awesome. Also, change up your Apple Watch band. Changing up your Apple Watch band can make your Apple Watch more exciting because once in a while, it's awesome to maybe buy a new Apple Watch band, because maybe if you only have one, when you buy a new Apple Watch band and you do all the things that I'm going to tell you in this video to do and change your watch face and stuff, it's going to feel like you have a new Apple Watch. So make sure if you only have one Apple Watch band, make sure to get some Apple Watch bands, and my personal favorite are from Polar Bands, of course. Links are down below. Having a timer on your wrist is so useful as well. Whether you're cooking, for example, I cook all the time, and for example, let's say I'm boiling some pasta, I can simply be Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes, and then Siri's gonna set my timer for 4 minutes. So then I'm cooking, I've got my greasy hands, for example, and then my timer, so it's really awesome. My next useful tip that I wanna give you is Apple Watch apps. Now there's a bunch of awesome Apple Watch apps, and I've made a ton of best Apple Watch apps videos, which I will of course link them down below as well. But once you start having a bunch of Apple Watch apps, and when you actually first buy the Apple Watch, you're gonna have a bunch of Apple Watch apps on your home screen. And the Apple Watch home screen is actually really, really messy. So my tip for you is make sure to delete the apps that you don't actually use, because as I said, because the home screen of your Apple Watch can get messy so quickly. So make sure to delete the apps that you don't use to reduce clutter. Talking about the home screen, make sure you put the apps that you use the most on the center. That's one of my favorite things to do. I use a bunch. I use, for example, Chirp for Apple Watch, which basically allows me to read Twitter on the Apple Watch. I always put the app that I use the most surrounding the clock. Like this, it's easy to access. So Apple Watch apps. Let's go ahead and talk about Apple Watch apps. Make sure to download, go on the App Store, or basically watch my videos and see which apps you like the most, and install a bunch of Apple Watch apps that you find useful for you. For example, me, I love sleep tracking. I love Autosleep. Autosleep allows you to sleep track on your Apple Watch. Chirp for Apple Watch allows me to read Twitter on my wrist. I love Waterminder, which allows me to track my water intake straight on my wrist. If a song is playing from the radio with Shazam, I can know exactly what that song is. And my next tip is actually screenshots. Yes, you can actually screenshot on the Apple Watch by simply tapping the digital crown and the side button at the same time. Now, Nikias, why would I screenshot on the Apple Watch? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Why not? I mean, for example, Shazam. I always Shazam songs straight on my wrist. So whenever I like a song, I simply screenshot it like this. I can have the actual name of the song afterwards for me to use. Or I don't know, maybe you're texting somebody and you want an address, so you simply screenshot it on your wrist, and then you're gonna have it later saved on your Apple Watch. My next tip that I wanna give you guys is the following: phone calls and text messages. Usually, when I've seen so many people do this, whenever somebody calls them, whenever somebody calls somebody else and I see them have the Apple Watch, I see this. I see, okay, somebody's calling me, let me grab my iPhone and answer. No. And I see the same thing with text message. I see people doing like this. Oh, somebody texts me, they see the notification, and then they go straight to your iPhone. If you're one of those people, I understand, because you're just not used to it. Once you get used to texting on the Apple Watch, whether it's from dictation or Scribble, you're gonna get so fast at it. Trust me, it's such an amazing experience. I know in the beginning it can be a little bit hard, so that's why you're always on your iPhone texting, but text back on your Apple Watch and try to force yourself to text on your Apple Watch, because in the end, it will be so worth it. For example, with Scribble, I'm so fast typing on my Apple Watch, and for example, dictation is so amazing. If somebody texts you, simply press, and then you say what you want to say, and then it translates into text. Just try. Do me a favor. And if you text always on your iPhone, do me a favor, do it for 1 week. Try to not pick up your iPhone and text everything with your Apple Watch. You know what these guys are? These guys are AirPods, and AirPods and the Apple Watch make the best combo you can ever dream of. If you're a runner, this is literally your dream. So make sure to download and install music on your Apple Watch. If you don't know how to do that, it's really simple. Jump over to your Apple Watch app on your iPhone, scroll to music, and then that's it. You can delete playlist, you can add more playlists, you can add songs, albums, artists, etc, etc. So yeah, as simple as that. Make sure to install some music on your Apple Watch to make your Apple Watch so incredibly useful whenever you're running. For example, you won't have to take your iPhone. Talking about running without your iPhone, if you have the cellular version, make sure to go to your AT&T or Verizon or whatever company you have. Make sure to activate your cellular on your Apple Watch. Having the freedom that the Apple Watch with cellular actually gives you is so incredible. Whenever I'm walking my dog, for example, I never bring my phone because I want to be less connected. I love having cellular on my phone because it simply helps me do that. Be less on my phone, because whenever I bring my phone to the park, for example, I tend to grab it, and then what do? Scroll through social media, Twitter, and then it's like you never end. So the Apple Watch helps me to use this less and use this more. And I don't really use it that much. For example, if I want to scroll through Twitter, I can, but I don't really do it that much. So it's awesome. I love having cellular, and I love having the freedom that it actually gives you. It's such good stuff. Now, if you already own an Apple Watch and you haven't turned your text to bold, I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you don't put the text to bold, it is so hard. The text is actually so small to read. So with adding bold text on your Apple Watch, which you do that by going to settings, text inside, and turn bold on, it will allow you, the actual text won't actually increase, it won't actually be larger, but it would simply be easier to read. So I don't really know why you haven't done that yet. Like, come on, do it now. So I could go on and on and on and keep telling you useful features on the Apple Watch. So please, if you guys enjoyed this video and you guys want a part 2 to how to make the Apple Watch useful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If this video reaches 4,000 likes, I will make episode 2 on how to make the Apple Watch useful. Give this video a big thumbs up and let me know that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video surrounding the Apple world. Peace.